Hey everyone, welcome back to I can't believe it's actually a weekly podcast.
Ha,
It's
imagine that.
it's crazy. It's actually
I
crazy.
I still blame Jared, guys. His excuses for
Yeah,
years on
my
years.
excuses. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, it was
Uh-huh.
always Jared's fault.
So what have you been up to? What have you been doing?
Well, I know I keep promising, but I will get to this weekend that beautiful game.
Right.
I know I keep promising, guys. I apologize. Reason being is because Helldivers 2 is just so damn addictive, and I have some buddies I play with, so we play that a lot during the week. And then, during the week, man, you're a working adult, you're tired. You only have a few hours to play. Your buddies want to play, and then you go to bed early. Yeah, guys, a preview for called Old Age.
Old age. It's not old
But when you
age,
get
it's responsibility.
yeah, once you get in your late 20s plus, things change. Both focus in life, energy, and all that. You'll understand if we have young viewers, but the ones that are our age already know. So, but Helldivers have been taking a lot of my free time, but I got to start switching gears because I have a huge backlog, including that game. So we're going to start playing it. So next week, I promise, guys. I know I keep saying it, 2 weeks in a row. Now that it's a weekly podcast, I can't use the excuse.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll get to it. The
What about you,
people
buddy?
demand.
I know they
play
do. They
that
demand
game.
impressions.
No, on my side, let's see. So let's see, what did I do? So I told you about Siberia, the New World. I had played that. That was really fun. It basically caused my my Steam Deck to explode. That you really have to watch that. That's where guys like Steven, I know, like this is like he'd never be into this ever, like the Steam Deck, because you have to monitor those things, right? Like,
Yeah.
you got to lower the frame rate and stuff like that. And that's like, I would love to hear from people who are not PC gamers who bought the Steam Deck to get into PC games. I'd love to hear what that transition was from like console to something like the Steam Deck. I'd love to hear that, because you do have to watch these things, right? Because otherwise what ends up happening is it won't damage your Steam Deck much, but it'll destroy your battery. Like it'll kill the battery. And if you're constantly draining your battery and recharging it and draining it and recharging it, the overall health of your battery is going to go right in the toilet, right? And like my Steam Deck, yeah, I got it early, right? Like I didn't get it at launch. Well, I got it at launch, but there was a wait list and it took like months before like they were able to catch up with the demand. And so I'd have to check when. It's 2 years old now, but I started playing it, like really playing it, in the last like couple of months, and like the battery's already down to like 82% health,
That's unreal.
which is
No,
crazy.
it's the same with like switches, right? With the battery's great at first, but after, well, I'm not really
Well, think of it.
on dock.
What's
It
interesting
goes
though,
like phones too. It's like your battery's
Exactly.
garbage after a while.
yeah, precisely. It's just so that's the one component of the Steam Deck where I was like, guys, maybe this is something for like Steam Deck 2. Think about that. Like being able to have like a removable battery pack that we could
Yeah,
order
I
online with like a quick connection, because this isn't a phone, right? Like this is a portable that if you don't know what you're doing, that sounds stupid. You don't know what you're doing. If you just leave older games on their default setting, you will kill your battery. Like, I mean, I had Siberia lasting for like 29 minutes. And the fan is like, like going crazy.
That's the thing and also optimizations. That's the thing about consoles, right? Consoles are easy. They're easy mode. You just insert, well, you used to insert the cartridge, right? But so you just turn up the game, you boot the machine. You don't have to worry. They don't allow you to custom. I mean, does PlayStation allow you to customize frames?
Now the new thing is, ever since, what was it, like last gen, I think, you have performance mode. And I forget, what the hell is the other one called?
Even Switch has that too for some of those taxing games.
I can't even remember what the hell it is. I thought it was two P's. Like I thought it was performance and another word with a P that I just can't think of right now.
Pansy mode.
No, but it's like you had your graphical rich mode that would lock the frame rate at 30 frames per second, basically. And then you'd have your graphically, the other way around.
Yeah.
So you'd have your graphics that are like at 30 frames per second, and then you'd have your performance, which is 60 frames per second, but, you know, lowers the resolution and stuff like that. So anyway, consoles have introduced it, but because it's not manual, because you as the user are not doing it, it's one toggle, right? Like on and off type of thing. With the Steam Deck, though, they did a good job. Like you go into like the battery component, like you basically press, so like on the Steam Deck, you have like a Steam Deck button and you have like these three little dots, like an ellipsis. If you click that or press in it, an overlay comes on every game. And if you go into the battery sort of icon on there, that's where the frame rate is. That's where like some of the more some of the more graphical features are there, and you can just toggle them. Like you can take the frame rate, put it down to 30 frames per second, or do whatever you want. And then all of a sudden, like your battery goes from, no joke, could be like 40 minutes to like 5 hours, because you're just not taxing the CPU and the GPU as much. And so anyway, so I told you guys that I had played through Siberia 3, had a really, really good time with that. I like those type of adventure games. Then for whatever reason, I got really into EmuDeck, which is the emulation like software that is super cool, man. Like really cool. And of course, I played Resident Evil, the original OG Resident Evil. On the Sega Saturn, man. I did it on purpose, not the PlayStation one. I wanted to play the like original Sega Saturn one, because the Sega Saturn one is based on the OG PlayStation one. So it's not like the DualShock version. It's not the director's cut or any of that. So it's cool. Like, and it was good. It's, once you get the hang of the tank controls, like you got to put your mind back into that thing. Once you do that, it's remarkable how good of a game the original Resident Evil is. Like that is a damn good game. And,
I bet. It was, right?
Yeah. And I find it remarkable how, like, I'd love to have been in the early discussions for Resident Evil when it like originally was being pitched, you know, because you got to remember, this is like Super Nintendo era, right? Like the SNES just ended, N64 is just coming out. So this game was in development, you know, a year before or whatever, right? 95-ish. Or maybe even earlier, maybe even into 94, like the concept was being pitched around and whatever. And I would have loved to have seen some of those early discussions, because like I was on the edge of my seat playing this. Like I had forgotten, remember there's no difficulty or anything, right? You can't pick like sort of baby mode. It's like when you play the game, you basically, it starts and it's like, okay, well you have Jill and you have Chris, that's it. And I was like, damn man, I forgot that like taking down a zombie, like I can't tell you how many times when I looked at my bullets, I had like 4 bullets left. And you're like, oh shit, like what do I do here? And you actually had to like go around the enemies and stuff like that because you just didn't have the resources. And I was like, man, I miss this. Like the mix of like, you know, trying to stay alive with resources. And I know today we have all these like survival type games and stuff like that.
Yeah. They're great too, by the way.
But it's cool. Like I really enjoyed that. So anyway, so I played through that. And then after that, I went and played through the Resident Evil remake that I got. We'll talk a little bit about that, but it was on sale. I think it was like $2. And that's the thing. We'll talk about that when we talk about the Steam sale later on. But man, like Steam is pretty awesome. Like you gotta give that. Like it's pretty friggin' awesome. So anyway, so I was playing through the Resident Evil remake, and I did the exact like opposite of what I did on the Saturn. So I put on like Omega Baby Easy. Okay, I wanted to see the difference, and oh my lord, I was like blasting through the game because they give you so much, like so many resources compared to like the original. I know I'm playing it on baby,
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
playing it on super easy. But it was fun. It was fun to just like go through. And then our buddy Ahmed wouldn't stop talking about Final Fantasy VII. Like he finally played it. He finally played the remake. And he was like, Jared, you've got to try this. Like he was like, you have to try this. And I didn't even know this, but it was included in PlayStation Plus, like maybe, I don't know, at some point. And so I went on my PlayStation 5 and I was like, oh, look at that. I actually have it for free. So I downloaded it and we'll talk about this. But man, games have come far. I'll just say that. Like, games have come very, very far. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right now, I wanted you to talk about Unicorn Overlord and your Mario
yes.
Kart and your sales. So what's that all about?
So weekly, what's it called? The weekly sales come out for the eShop, Nintendo's eShop, and guess who's at top yet again? Mario Kart 8, which is funny because you remember that's a remake, right? So it never did good on the original Wii. Was it Wii U, right?
Well, nothing did good. Nothing did good
because there was no hardware sales.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It kind of was sad because when they announced, because I did get the Mario Kart 8, but I really didn't play it because I never actually opened it. It's right there, actually. Still in its box, never opened, guys. That shows you how much of a. I just got it because grew up a Nintendo fanboy, whatever you want to call it. But I never opened up my Wii, and I really didn't miss anything according to its history, right? There was some good, but anyways, it's still the number one seller for I don't know how many countless weeks. It's like its top selling game. I still haven't got it. I have to pick it up, but it never goes on sale because I'm very strict about buying games on sale. But Nintendo,
well, there's a reason Nintendo makes money, and that's one of the reasons nothing ever goes on sale.
Yeah, because Steven was talking that once a while back. He says Sony has he quotes unquote bad habit. I don't think it's a bad habit. They don't have confidence in their games. They just release a game and then they like within a month or two or whatever, 6 months or less, they lower the price of it or have big sales. He says that's not a good thing, but I think it is because saving money is good. It's extremely rare I buy for single player games. Well, Mario Kart's not single player game, so there's an exception there. But it's an old game, so that's why I keep waiting for a sale. Reason I don't buy like single player games at first is because when you could get them on Steam within 6 months traditionally for half price or a good chunk. There's no reason, and I have such a big backlog.
Yeah,
it's
so
not like I had to rush and play.
I'll tell you why Steven says that, and I understand what he's saying. It's not like that it's bad per se. He's saying that it's devaluing the brand, and I get that. Because if you are what you just said is a nightmare to companies. You're like, well, I'm not going to pay full price because I know that in 4 or 5 months it's going to be 25% off on Steam.
Yeah. I see what he's saying.
But companies,
that's what he means.
That's not a good thing for companies. With Nintendo, like they really are the Disney of the video game industry. Like they really are. Disney, for those old enough, know that like their whole vault, right? Like they used to put movies in the vault and all this kind of stuff. And they too never had sales. Like their movies gonna be 60 years old, and they're like, screw you.
And they still make a shit ton of money.
They're like, we're charging you like top price. But I get that. Like Nintendo, that's the strategy that they're using, and I get it. It's to say like, well, screw you. Like our games, the only time our games are discounted are when they go to Player's Choice. Now that I would need to actually have Steven here. Like, do they even do that anymore?
They used to.
I know they did it. They did it on the 3DS, so I know that there are Player's Choice games on the 3DS, but I actually don't know with the Switch.
It's for the Switch. They've had some discount, like when Mario Day comes up or stuff. They'll have like discounts on their Mario games and stuff like that. There's some.
I'm gonna check this because like I don't even know.
Yeah, check. But their sales are never huge, man. Switch like Steam, you get these games that are like Cyberpunk 50% off. 75% off on a huge budget title game, AAA game. And it's, again, you're right, Nintendo doesn't do it. And I think Steven's right, because they don't want to devalue their thing, that or they're greedy fucks, and they know people are just going to buy their games, right? That's the end of the day. Why discount it when they know people are just going to buy it? So, like, yeah, Mario Kart, I really would love. But anyways, Unicorn Overload did finish in the top 5 sales of the eShop. So that's really good for Vanillaware. It didn't give a count of how many units are sold, but Nintendo's platform is highly competitive for charts, so that's really good. Let's see how it does the next couple of weeks. If it could go up. Traditionally, games, when they release is with their peak, usually, and then they taper down. So if it could stay in the top 10 for a while, that's going to be successful for them, I think.
And I just checked, and no, there are no Player's Choice games on the Switch. That is so interesting. I guess, well, I mean, at the end of the day, if Steven was here, he'd say they don't have to. And that's the truth. They don't have to. Look, if Mario Kart is selling at, what, $59.99? Something like that? Why would you lower the price? That makes no sense. You know, like that's that. I get that. Like, I get it. That's a business strategy that they're using. And it sure as hell is paying off, man.
Yeah, and it's amazing. You know, Nintendo over the years, think about their consoles. They release their core games, but they don't really support their systems that much. It's like, what keeps them afloat, right? Obviously, units sold and their software. That's what it is. Like Steven said, it's like they know their shit sells. So I think this, like the Mario Kart, still impressive numbers after all these years.
Right. So the last official numbers we had were like December of last year. December 31st. So they go quarter by quarter. So we'll find out actually in like a few weeks, we'll find out. But like today, it's at like, based on the official numbers, it's at like 45 million sold. Do the math. 45 million at $59.99 US. And I understand that's not exact. Like here, it's probably $69.99 or whatever. But who cares? Whatever. The point being, do the math. Right? Like
that's an insane amount of money.
Yeah, and I mean, they are the top company that supports their platforms. Like that's always been the case. The only exception to that, you know, was like when the NES was like first out, but there was no one else, right? Like, yeah, you had the Master System, but I don't want to get into all that. But basically, they monopolized the whole bloody industry. So
yeah, they had some. People don't remember probably because they're too young, some of the viewers these days. But the NES, Nintendo required them to basically sign exclusives. So if you wanted to make games for their platform, you had to make games only for their platform. Very aggressive. You know, so Nintendo is a pretty dirty company if you think about it. They're not that great, but they're great at business, right? I mean, people have to remember, businesses are not your friend. They're not here to be your friend. They're not your fan. They don't effing care about what the gamer wants. All that is PR.
Dare you? They love you.
People forget that PR and marketing departments tell you what you want to hear. People don't realize that. People don't realize that PR departments are there to tell you what you want to hear. Of course, they're going to say, oh, we're for the gamer guys. We love our fans. F you. We want your fucking money. Give it to us and shut the fuck up.
The F-bombs. Look at you.
So no, it's true, because the problem with people, and you see this on YouTube and all these comments and Reddit, people take things way too personally, and they don't realize that even the indie companies, they want to make money. Now indie companies are kind of unique, the small ones, because they kind of do take user feedback because they kind of have to, right? Because think about it. If their little project they've invested, substantial amount of time flops, and they could fix things that could maybe they have a little bit more control. So yeah, indie companies, small companies tend to be a little bit more passionate about, quote unquote, the gamers, but all companies are all about business, and they want to make money.
Perfect segue. This is a perfect segue into our next little topic here. So I'm going to go back to Final Fantasy VII right now, because it's a perfect segue. You talk about money and stuff, and well, why did Square Enix release Final Fantasy VII Remake? Ever since the PlayStation 3 demo, like graphical presentation or whatever the hell it was, people have been like, oh my god, right? Like, it would be so amazing to play Final Fantasy VII with those types of graphics, and the back and forth of, well, that's impossible, it would take years, and blah, 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 blah. And then we finally got it, right? Like, finally got that sort of promise type of thing realized. And anyway, so Final Fantasy VII, I mean, if you were around at that time, there,
If
there is no, like, I don't even understand how people argue about this, because there is no arguing about this. There is one game, and only one game, that popularized the role-playing game genre in North America, and no one can argue. You just can't. Because there's the pre-Final Fantasy VII sales and the post-Final Fantasy VII sales.
yeah,
And
it was
it doesn't matter what you look at. It doesn't, like, so there is no argument. I hate when people are like, but there's this and that and everything else. I'm like, no, you're wrong. Because, like, that is the one game that literally changed everything. Literally everything. And so because of that, I mean, you know, there were games before that started, I think, like, started the itch, right? Like, to scratch that itch. Like, Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, you know, those sorts of things. They had begun. Like, without them, and this was the whole thing of the dark age of Dragon Quest, the biggest mistake Enix ever made was stopping to release Dragon Quest games in North America. That was the biggest mistake they made, because it's like, and for years, I thought Dragon Quest would never, ever succeed here because they missed that opportunity, right? Like, they release their games and they leave just as people are starting to go, hey, what is this genre, right? During the SNES. And then they come back right when Final Fantasy, like, hits and the boom is there. But what do? They take years to capitalize. And when they finally release Dragon Warrior 7, PlayStation 2 is already out. Nobody gives a crap. And then they leave North America again. And it took years for them to finally, like, get back on the bandwagon. But anyway, corporations, money. So Ahmed was like, you got to try Final Fantasy VII, man. He's like, you really do have to. He's like, this is, yes, it's a cash grab, of course. But he's like, you can tell, like, love went into this, right? Like, passion went into this. So here I am. I'm on my Steam Deck and stuff. And I was like, you know, like, I barely ever have access to the television again. And I was like, you know, this is where it would be really cool to have, like, a Switch. To be able to just, you know, take it on the go, lie on the bed, play it, whatever. Anyway, total fluke. Go to Best Buy, there's a PlayStation Portal. I was like, no way. Like, what are the odds of that? So pick one up, and this is the cash grab. Oh my Lord, man. Okay, so first impressions of the PlayStation Portal, I'll say I was wrong. Okay, I'll say that. When the first, like, whatever, like, it was first announced or spoke about or whatever, I thought this was the dumbest thing I had ever heard of in my whole life. I was like, this is beyond stupid. And then it started selling out all over the place, and I was like, man, what a bunch of morons. Like, I was like, who is buying this thing? And now that I have it, I can say, yeah, I was wrong. I was like, okay, I guess, like, at that time I had the TV, everything was perfect, and it was like, you know, like, why would you need this? But I am starting to understand now that if you have siblings and they want to play something else, if you have a significant other who's on the TV, if you simply want to chill, you want to be outside and you just want to chill, right? Like, and relax and take it easy. There is a use case, clearly, right? It's selling out left, right, and center. So clearly there's a use case here. I was very, very impressed. Now, Ahmed had a whole bunch of problems because he has a mesh setup at his place. I don't. I just have, seriously, cable comes in, boom, goes into the router, and away we go. Like, super, super simple. I do not have the craziest, fastest internet because of the damn building that I'm in. It's ridiculous. Like, the building I'm looking at right there across the street, total crazy 3.5 gigabits per second, nuts stuff. Meanwhile, I'm cruising like 100 megabits per second, and it's awful. Anyway, it works flawlessly.
You need better internet, man.
I can't. I'd have to move basically, just literally across the street. But anyways, so you need about a 5 megabit per second connection. That's nothing. These days, that's absolutely nothing. They recommend 15 to get like a smooth sort of experience. It's like flawless, okay? Like seriously, I mean, I'm not playing Gran Turismo or something like that, but even with you don't push the button and wait type of thing. I've had no lag, I've had no interruptions while using all my internet devices. It's worked just flawlessly. Setup was as simple as turning it on. That's it. That's all I had to do is turn it on, and it recognized immediately, oh, you have this as your PlayStation 5. Is this you? You say yes. You get a QR code, scan it with your phone, and log in. Do the login. You're done. That's it. It was that simple. I know Ahmed had issues. It took me about an hour or so to get started, but that's because of the slow internet that I have. So it took forever to download all the updates. So you have essentially like a PlayStation update, you have a device update, and you have a controller update. So you have to do 3 different updates in order for it to work. But biggest complaint really has been, how does this thing not have Bluetooth? Like, are we for real? Like,
yeah, that's kind of weird.
No, it's not even weird. It's they actively deactivated it from the motherboard. So the reason they did that is to sell you a proprietary headset. Exactly. And this is the thing where, like, scratching my head too, going like, come on. Like, come on. You know?
That's funny.
It's ridiculous because it's like every motherboard, all motherboards today have built-in functionality. If you have Wi-Fi, you have built-in like Bluetooth. I don't know a single motherboard, I don't care how cheap, they have Bluetooth built in now. So that's a dick move on Sony's part.
I get 100%.
You know, and that's
dude.
And that's unnecessary. Like, to be frank, it's really unnecessary. So I'm like, up yours, and here's my solution. I really like the Pulse 3D headset. I really like it. I bought it when my PlayStation 5 came out, and it's awesome. So here's what I do. Put that on. It syncs with the PlayStation 5, right? Of course.
Oh, okay.
And then I mute the volume on the Portal. Ta-da! It's a problem solved.
Oh, okay. Nice workaround.
Yeah, and it works absolutely perfectly. So there's no lag, there's no whatever. It's flawless because, you know, technically your PlayStation 5 is on, right? So it's outputting to whatever device you set it to. So perfect. Like, so I just have it that it's you know, I got my headset on, I've got my Portal, and away we go. And what's so cool with the Steam Deck, I use the Steam Deck's charger now because I bought the Steam Deck, what do you call it? Like the little dock. So I use that to charge the Steam Deck, but I have now the AC adapter, which is perfect for the PlayStation Portal. And so I'm playing Final Fantasy VII. I only just started, so I can't really talk much about it. But I will say I went back and I put on the upscaled PS4 version of Final Fantasy VII, like the OG one. And like just literally had the opening title screen, you know, where it's going in Midgar and it's got dun, 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 and it's got the logo. And then you see the train come in and the little pixel, like, oh my gosh, the polygon cloud, like it's terrible with the little box hands. And then playing this, and I texted Ahmed and I was just like, dude, man, like this, I feel ancient. When I played this, I literally feel ancient, where I'm just like, I cannot believe how far we have come. Like, it's crazy. And yes, I'm a purist, right? So I was telling him, I was like, I miss the original gameplay. but it wouldn't fly with today's folks. Like they wouldn't do that. But it's still not bad. I mean, it's much more action focused, but the audio visual presentation, wow, like I was just absolutely floored. And you get the little chills because of the nostalgia, right? From like when the music is like, it's not just a 1-to-1. So like this, my understanding, this whole game, the remake, the original, the first part, whatever, is just Midgar. So like that's it. They took an hour and a half of the original game or something like that.
They made 2 games.
They made a full game, one full game out of that section. So you can imagine they really extend the storyline and stuff like that. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm on chapter 4 of I don't know how many. The second one, though, my understanding is like that's where the world opens up. And I could be totally wrong, but I just wanted to comment that like absolutely gorgeous. Like seriously, if you can get that, I mean, I paid nothing, right? It's part of my subscription to PlayStation Plus. I know it's on PC, so that must be sick. On PC must be absolutely sick. And with the Steam sale right now,
is it on sale?
I don't know. I'm not sure. But definitely would be something to check out for folks that are looking. It's a modern. It's a new game, right? Like it's a modern day game. So this is not the original like whatsoever. But
all right, so
is it on sale?
Looks like it is on sale for 50% off, guys. So yeah. $34.99 US. So
totally worth
if you guys
that.
Are,
it's
totally worth it for that. Yeah, it's a Square Enix publisher sale too. Yeah.
So totally worth it. And just to wrap up with the PlayStation Portal thing, like I said, I don't like that. I really don't like when companies do stuff like that. Like you purposely went out of your way to shut off a feature so that you could sell earbuds that cost as much as the system. Like, are you out of your mind? Like,
bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, no, I'm sorry, but I'm going to do this workaround. And they can't stop the workaround because how? Right? Like, you can't stop it. It's because, like, that's the way, like, the only way to stop it would be to prevent the system from having wireless. And you can't
imagine.
You can't you can't do that. So anyway, so that's the PlayStation Portal, and since we're on the PlayStation subject, I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
Oh yeah, well, not necessarily PlayStation, but right off this feed here, my feed, Microsoft's handheld PC plan is the next chapter of Xbox brand. So I guess Microsoft's getting into the handheld. I don't know if this,
dude.
Yeah, this. Did you know about this?
Well,
this is a picture of it. It looks pretty cool. It kind of looks like a. I guess similar to a Switch.
So what
here, let me give you.
Well, just tell me. What's the thing?
Link here.
Where are you linking it? In Teams?
Oh, I could do it in Teams or Discord.
No,
what's easier?
Discord. No, put in Discord. It's okay. I'll just click it here. I don't want to screw up our recording.
So what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's pretty much. That's pretty much what I. That's a mock-up, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I mean,
interesting because, man, I'm telling you, Xbox Game Pass is such great value, guys.
Well,
if they could get this to run perfect, like you remember all the issues you're having with Steam Deck, maybe they could get it better with it. Now, obviously, it won't have the Steam library.
So no, and we gotta so issues I'm having. What are the issues? Right? It's like they're not. It's not issues. It's playing PC games. Like PC games, this is what's going to happen. If Microsoft is smart, release Game Pass on a device like this. And guys, I'm telling you, after playing the PlayStation Portal, after playing the Steam Deck, I can tell you, and the Switch, of course, I can tell you, like, I would install Xbox on like Game Pass on my Steam Deck, but it only, because it's Linux based, it only allows you to stream. Screw that. Like, I want to actually like download. But with Microsoft, it's going to be interesting to see what direction do they go? Right? I didn't read the actual article. I just looked at the image thing. So I don't know. Are they saying that they want to do the Steam Deck route? It looks like it by the picture.
Yeah, let's see. What are the Xbox comparisons? They're talking a lot about Sony, and then it goes where PC gaming handheld fits within Microsoft's strategy. Both both rivals are focusing on PC gaming. I told you, Sony's smart, guys, and this is where Nintendo needs to get their act together. Well, do they really?
No,
but they could
don't.
make so much more money.
They
dude.
don't.
That's what they could make so much more money if they release their games on the Steam or etc. Anyways, both Nintendo Switches and Valve Steam Deck, they're comparison. Though Nintendo's on the other hand, they're talking a lot about what ifs here, but they're saying that. Sure, Game Pass Ultimate does have cloud service that allows users to stream games. However, playing games natively is a better way to go. I agree with that. Is this a quote? Oh, yeah, here's a quote from Microsoft. One of the weak points in the experience on a ROG or Lenovo Go is Windows, Spencer said, which is true. How Windows works to control on controller inputs only on the kind of deep, that's a lot of technical stuff. So they're saying Windows is the limitation. So having a dedicated system like similar to Switch, etc., would alleviate a lot of that. Of course, their OS would probably be Windows based, but it would be optimized. So they do make a valid point that Windows itself is kind of hindering, like if they were going to on like a quote unquote gaming solution like what Lenovo makes or stuff like that.
And this is so funny. You're going to have to talk to yourself. There's someone at my door, and I'm not shutting off the recording. So talk to yourself for a second.
Yeah. And look, while we're waiting for Jared, during the time, Microsoft Gaming Experience also announced that Game Pass hit 34 million subscribers. Huge, guys, huge. And the number also increases Game Pass core subscribers who make up the old Xbox Live Gold.
That wasn't too bad, right? It wasn't too bad. Okay. It was my.
I told you.
It was my PlayStation Portal case.
Oh, perfect, good. And by the way, I was just telling them that the Game Pass just hit 34 million subscribers, which is huge, especially in this era of no loyalty with subscribers. Like Disney keeps losing them left and right. So yeah, Microsoft's doing something. That's a huge, impressive number, dude.
Yeah. So I want to talk about this. I really do want to talk about this because I've been watching a lot of videos on installing Windows on the Steam Deck because you see, guys, what makes the Steam Deck so awesome is the fact that for you like diehard console fans, and guys, I'm one of them. I really do like consoles.
I was too, yeah, for years.
What I like about consoles is you can just sit on your damn sofa and you don't have to worry. You're good. Done. And what I love about like the Steam Deck, I can do that too, right? Like I can just lie down on my bed, my sofa, on the balcony, whatever, and just have like some really great PC games. What's nice with PC, or at least what used to be nice with PC, was that you could customize the experience to yourself. I say exactly. Used to only because graphics cards have now gotten out of control. Like the prices have gotten out. Like I used to love building a gaming rig and putting every setting on Omega and then laughing at myself when I'd go and play like a PS3 game. I'm like, or Xbox 360. I'm like, BioShock, screw that. Look at this bad boy.
Yeah.
You know,
big difference.
But today it's so expensive. It's like you can still, don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying you can't be playing PC games for like a decent price. You can. That's total BS that it's going to cost billions of dollars.
Yeah, that's a misinformation.
Yeah, exactly. But if you do want the best, then yeah, of course, right? Like graphics cards, ever since the rise of crypto and all of that, and AI, like the prices have gotten nuts. But anyway, one of the things with the Steam Deck that's super cool is it does have the Switch kind of ease of use. Turn it on. As long as you click in, like, you know, plays great on Steam Deck in the Steam store, you're good. Like, you're good. But for me, I like that there's a Linux layer. Like I can switch it to desktop mode and go and do that. Now, what you don't want to do is you do not want to do that on Windows. You don't want to do that on Windows. Windows is a very bloated operating system, and because of that, your I think it's called the Legion Go is like the next very affordable handheld PC that runs Windows. But it's just not as seamless as the Steam Deck, because the Steam Deck, it's like the OS was designed to do this. And yes, it's Linux based, but Linux is such a light, it's not a heavy operating system. But because Microsoft is Microsoft, I would love to see what their approach would be, because I don't think they will give you Windows. I think it'll be a customized version of the OS, but they have the Xbox overlay on top of it, like the Game Pass overlay. You'll be able to download games natively, but like kind of like get the best of, oh, that's funny. Get the best of, not, I don't want to say get the best of both worlds, but like get the simplistic, nature that comes with the Steam Deck, but also get the native of DirectX and all the benefits that come with that. And yes, you would lose the customization, but I do think that that's actually a benefit to the majority of people. Yeah. And let's be honest, if it's running Windows, it's going to get hacked in the first week, and then you'll be able to get your emulators, all that kind of stuff.
And even Microsoft Spencer even said right there that the hindering right now for even Legion Go is Windows. It's not optimal, which is something they, like you said, they're going to address. As much as I love, we said this a few podcasts before too, is mobile kind of taking over everything. Handheld still really seems to be viable. Desktop, there's still a market for it. PC gaming is doing still really good, but you're right. The future young generations, I don't think they're interested. A lot of people don't even have desktops anymore, man.
Exactly. So. And the market, we've been over this, right? Like, desktops do not sell compared to laptops. That's the current world we live in. I mean, we've talked about this. Like, I don't even think that this is the future. I think the future is your PlayStation Portal. Like, I'm being serious. I do think that is where we're going, where you're going to get a device that's basically just a screen. And it's connect in. And I got to say, PlayStation Portal compared to my Steam Deck, the Portal is more comfortable because it's a legitimate controller. It's basically, they took a DualShock 5 or whatever the hell it's called, or DualSense, or forget what they're called. They ripped it apart and slapped an LCD in between. So it's got the full haptics, the full, it feels like a PlayStation controller. It's the only one, not the Switch, not the Steam Deck, that my wrist doesn't hurt. It's the only one because you're basically playing with a controller. So anyways, I will admit to everybody, I was mistaken on the use case of the Portal. But I do think that this is a quick cash grab on Sony's part. Like the fact that they didn't, the Bluetooth stuff and PlayStation 6, is it even going to work? Is it going to allow remote play? And even remote play, technically, guys, you can use this with a backbone. I don't know if you've seen those. It's basically like a PlayStation controller that slides in the middle, and you basically plunk this in the center, and there you go, remote play, perfect, works great. The big difference here is you get an 8-inch screen, which I think is the same as the Steam Deck. It's that big, large screen. But other than that, it's like a premium product that, whatever. So, staying on PlayStation, I was curious to hear your thoughts and hear people's thoughts. I'm really confused on this. So, PS5 Pro, rumors are it's going to be later this year. One thing I like about Sony and I like about Microsoft and Steam, like Valve, is they give you specs. I like specs. I'm a big nerd. I like to know about PC specs, and that's what I hate about Nintendo. You always have to
I agree.
Wait till someone rips the system apart. Yeah, exactly. I hate that. It's like, guys, we know that you're not like in it for the power, but it'd still be good to
Yep.
get an
So
idea.
no official. Yeah, yeah.
But
I don't
anyway,
know why they're so.
well,
guess
I know
'cause
why.
they.
I know why they're so. They do not want you to compare. That's what they're worried about. They don't want to give ammunition officially. They don't officially want to give ammunition to Microsoft and Sony to be like, oh look, it's so weak,
Yeah,
type
and
of
not only
thing.
that, plus then to justify, well, wow, your system's pretty much you're right. So Microsoft's like, why would you pay for this
Yeah,
subpar?
like
It's the same
marketing.
cost. For
Exactly.
$50 more, you get a much better system.
Exactly. So anyway, so again, guys, all rumors, so we don't know. Big thing, I'm sure, like a lot of you guys that are watching this, about teraflops. It's like the modern day equivalent of like back in the 16-bit era, where that's one of the numbers that people use to be like, my piece is so much better than yours and stuff. So just for comparison's sake, the current OG PlayStation 5 and the Slim or whatever it is, their 10.3 teraflops is essentially what they're locked at. Xbox Series X is 12. That's why they have the moniker as like we are the strongest console ever made.
There you go. You see. Yeah.
So, but rumors say that PS5 Pro will clock in at 33.5 teraflops.
Wow, that's a huge upgrade.
That's a big upgrade, and the big thing is that it's supposed to allow for performance and graphical modes to be done simultaneously, like on PC. So you don't have to decide one or the other. You get the best of both worlds. But something kind of neat that has been leaked, I don't know whether or not it's real, is called PSSR, which is going to be referred to as PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. And this is very much like NVIDIA's DLSS technology. So like an upscaling technology that will allow games to go up to 8K or, like do some of that cool stuff that I was talking about. Now that tech is actually, I know NVIDIA's, I know AMD has something similar, but I know on NVIDIA's it has been pretty impressive. Like the AI tech of upscaling has been.
Isn't there some Switch games that uses upscaling?
Yeah, well that I think if Nintendo were smart about this, that's the kind of stuff, because I forget, do they use NVIDIA or AMD? I don't remember.
NVIDIA. It's hard to say. I think it's NVIDIA, right?
I think it is. It's the Tegra, isn't it? That they using?
Tegra is NVIDIA. Yeah.
Okay, so then
it is NVIDIA. Yeah, duh.
So then for sure they would use that tech in their next machine, in their next system, and that could be very impressive. Like in the right hands, this can be quite something. But I was more curious, like, am I the only one? And I got to be careful because, like, I don't know, lately I've been wrong about everything when it comes to gaming, and I'll admit that. But like, does anyone care? Like, I don't know. Like, Sony this year, they said we got no new games, like, from themselves. They're relying on third parties. And fine, I mean, you guys are dominating right now between the Xbox and the PlayStation. Whatever, have at it. But like, I don't quite understand. Like, are we craving a PS5 Pro right now? Or am I on crack? I just don't understand. But again, I said the same thing with the Portal, and now I'm the biggest hypocrite because, like, I actually think that's actually a pretty sweet little system. And I don't know. I'm reading the specs and I'm like, wow, that's a big bump, but we don't actually have PlayStation 5 games right now. Like, everything is still being made. Well, everything. Most things are still being made for the PS4. Which means,
which is weird, right?
Well, that's it. It's like we're halfway through, maybe even more than halfway through the console's life, and you're still supporting the last console, which means you're hindering your new console. Like, I'm a little perplexed at what the hell is the point of this. Like, unless you're going to have games that are like radically, like super graphics mode or something like that. I don't quite understand what's the point of this. But again, I have been wrong. I don't know what the hell lately. I've been so wrong with everything. It's going to come out and sell Switch numbers and, like, who knows. But I don't know. I just find it weird. I know Microsoft, the rumors are that they're like, F this, we're going next gen. But then it's going to be like, okay, well, what? So you're going to release Xbox, whatever. Switch 2 is coming out next year now, according to all the rumors. And Sony's going to have a PS5 Pro. That is messed up, man. Like, that is 3 completely different things happening. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. Like, you don't even have a PS5, right?
Nope.
So you don't care at all.
Don't care. And I'd stop getting consoles, basically. I mean, I have the Switch, but besides that, I don't really get consoles.
Well, what's in your PC? What PC build do you have right now?
Oh, man, my PC's almost basically just turned 2 years. I have a 370 Ti, but I only run 1440, what's it called, P. So I don't do a 4K, so you don't need anything higher than that. That's the other thing, too, guys. When you build machines, be smart about it. If you don't get a monitor, my monitor's only, I don't use 4K, so there's no reason to get any, like, the 390s. Well, I was debating it. The difference in price was huge at the time. But I have a 13th generation i9, so nice amount of RAM. I think 32, is it 32 or 64? I forget. I think it's 30. Yep, 32. Another thing, too, you really don't need as much RAM as you want to. Like 64 gigs of RAM, you don't need that really. I mean, yeah, I guess RAM at the end of the day is always a good thing. But 32, not really good video card. Of course, in the next couple of years, will probably have to be upgraded. But, yeah, so it's a 13th generation i9. So those are really, really good.
Yeah, exactly. And
then, of course, those real ultra-fast, well, not the ultra-fast hard drives, but the SSDs were just really good. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have M2s in a new rig like that. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to hear exactly, like 8K TVs are not yet, and they're not going to be, I don't think, mainstream anytime soon. So if the industry starts to focus on 8K, I'm going to be very surprised by that. I will be very surprised.
Well, I mean, he's thinking about 8K, 4K. Well, you think the Genesis systems can even support 4K? I don't think so.
Well, I think what they'll do is they'll probably do like a
upscale,
like a 12 or 1440 type resolution and upscale.
Yeah, 1440 would be decent. 1440p is pretty decent. I mean, it's not top tier, but it's really nice. Gives them a little bit, obviously, more screen to work with, which is always good.
Yeah, and it'll be something.
Yeah,
something like that.
1440 is good, dude.
Yeah, I think it'll be something like that, because it's exactly what you said. So it's like, the minute you start to go to that kind of like 4K resolution, that's where you need your, you have no choice. Like, you got to start to have, your damn good graphics cards and stuff.
More RAM.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like the beast under me is now 5 years old, I think. And it was the 20 series. So whatever that was, the top card of the 20 series. And it was damn expensive. I think it was like 2,500, something like that.
Hey, you spent money.
Oh, dude. I spent money on this beast. That's why it's still here. And I have well, hold on a sec. Let me show you guys. All right, let me show you this. So this, I know I've got my sort of thing here. You guys, can you see what this is?
It's a tablet, right?
It's a portable monitor. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very, very cool little thing here. And it's a 4K monitor that, what the hell is this? Okay, I need that. So it's a 4K monitor that, because my other monitor was 1080p, just a regular HD monitor, and I could still rock my games, man. Rock them. I buy this thing, ever since this, all of a sudden, it's like the PC takes a beating, man. Like, and it's not even that big, for God's sakes. It's like, I don't know, 16, 18 inches or whatever. And it's unbelievable what a difference it takes for the computer to like output in 4K. But anyways, whatever. So I'll be really curious to see not only like how it performs, but like, do any of you care? Like, I don't know what's going on in the gaming industry anymore. Like, I feel like I'm losing touch with
I still think 4K is not that common, dude.
Well, that's
overall, I mean,
I agree. Like, I don't get it. Like, I bought this beast of a TV, maybe like 3-4 years ago, and it's gorgeous. Like, if anyone thinks I'm gonna go to an 8K display, not maybe in 10 years or something, like, there's no way. Like, why?
Exactly.
Like,
there's no reason for it, and it's not going to be supported for gaming anytime soon. Too. I wonder who's going to be the first. Probably Sony or Microsoft. Either one of those will do their first 8K official system. But yeah, that's still, like you said, that's 10 plus years away at least.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't, and like the fact that like the rumors were like, oh, this new tech will allow for upscaling to 8K. It's like, guys, are you for real? 8K? Like, whatever. Anyway, last little topic for us is the Steam Glorious Spring Sale that is currently on. And I just took a little gander. I think it's going to be off, though, by the time everyone sees this, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Let me look at the... Yeah,
because it's 21st. It ends the 21st at 10 a.m. Pacific. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the sale. Suckers!
Let us know in the comments what you bought, because by the time you see this, you will already bought. But there's a tons of good sales, especially the Final Fantasy remake, too.
Yeah, dude. Like, so, like, in conjunction with this, there was a Capcom sale. And, like, Resident Evil 4 remake, so this is, like, what we were talking about earlier, right? Like, that game is new. Like, it came out, like, what, October of last year? Something like that? 25% off. Resident Evil 7 and 8, both 60% off.
Huge.
Yeah, Hollow Knight, 50% off. Cyberpunk, 50% off. Diablo 4, 50% off. I was like, damn, man. Like, Diablo 4 is a good game. Like, 50% off.
Actually, it's coming for Game Pass this month on the 28th, so I can't wait. So I'll finally be able to try it out.
Try it out, dude. Like, I really enjoyed that. I got it on PlayStation 5 and platinum the damn thing. Like,
did Steven get it? I know he loved 3, right?
Steven right now, he's in his like gaming funk where like he's been in this gaming funk for a little while now. He's just playing his Pokemon games. Nothing else. It's so sad.
Come on, Steven. Well, he has kids.
No, I know. Like he said, he was like, he's at the point where it's like, if it doesn't hook him immediately, he's out. Like, it's done.
Wow. It's called old age, huh?
Like, well, I think to each his own. Like, I'm still, like, I mean, my gaming output is so low now. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I still enjoy, like, gaming. Like, I still enjoy, like, it brings me, pleasure to play these things. And I did pick up something on the Steam sale. What
do you pick up?
Check out Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake.
Oh, let me check. And also, guys, Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed is on sale, too. That's a cool ASIM.
Hey, speaking of Ghostbusters, isn't that this week? The new Ghostbusters?
Yeah, I've seen it this weekend. So,
nice.
No, not this weekend, next weekend. So I won't tell you what it's like because we'll be recording the podcast before I go to the movies. But let me look. What's it called? You said
Resident Evil. Put Resident Evil 2 or Resident Evil 3. Check out the price, man. I couldn't believe it.
Evil. Oh yeah, 3 and 2 are only $10 each, right?
It's crazy, dude. And check. They have a I forget what it's called, but it includes both of them, and it was like $12, something like that. I was like, get out of here.
Overwhelmingly positive review. Oh, yeah, 75% off, guy. Yeah. Buy Resident Evil 2 Biohazard Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition for $12.48. It's their $49 USD, 75% off. Wow. So yeah, you're right. It's a great sale. And there's the extra DLC pack, so everything's on sale.
Yeah, so guys, like, I mean, I only mentioned Resident Evil because I just played the Saturn one, so I picked that up, and it cost me, like, in Canadian, it was like, I don't know, $16, $17 for both Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake. I was like, damn right. And both those games play perfectly on the Steam Deck. Perfect. Giddy up. There you go.
Yeah, and Power World's on a little bit of a sale too.
Yeah, I gotta try. So exactly, Power World I was gonna pick up because I wanted to see how it actually plays on the Steam Deck. Because if it plays well, that's a great thing for like, because Steven, I could get Steven a Steam Deck if probably the next iteration, I think.
It says playable.
Yeah, but I don't trust those guys. What I do is I go to, oh God, there's another, I can't think of it.
Hey, but if you have Game Pass, don't get it. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah, but for Steven.
Oh, okay.
What is it called? Is it Steam Deck? What is it? Proton badges or something like that. Proton DB badges. That's it. So if
and IGN has a Everything to a Classic mod, Alpha, Z Omega, Nexus mods. Oh, really, man? So that's one great thing too, Jared. You forgot to say about the PC is the mods allows you to change stuff and make it better.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. Here, so I'm gonna put in Discord. Okay, check out this link. All right, check that out. So this is a website that is so much better than what Valve does. So guys, Valve tries to verify the games that they basically have on Steam Deck, but the problem is they don't like have time or resources to review every single game. So this particular website called ProtonDB, there's actually a plugin for the Steam Deck that does an overlay, a badge overlay that tells you how good a game actually plays. Not only that, but users like myself can actually go in and say, hey guys, if you want to like extend the battery life, change the settings to this. And that's what I did for the Resident Evil remake, the original Resident Evil remake. So if I go to Power World, right? Here.
Yeah, let's see how it runs.
Yeah, so here, I'll just, you can search yourself, but I'll put it in chat for you. Look at the difference. So it said unverified, right? Look at the difference when you go there. See what it says? It says gold. Gold.
So that's good.
Yes, that means
after
it's
tweaks.
perfect.
Ooh, they say after tweaks.
Yeah, exactly. After tweaks.
So that means you have to kind of, all right.
Yeah, but you show like what are the tweaks, and on the right hand side it'll show you like what it is, like what to do.
Oh yeah, wow, this is an awesome site.
Yeah,
but doesn't Steven say he has Xbox he could play Game Pass?
It's just I don't know how much time he has like dedicated to television. That's where sometimes like the portability comes into play. But yeah, exactly. Like it's true. I forgot about that. I swear, Xbox, Microsoft, if you're out there, get me a handheld because
so it looks like that's gonna work because that might be something I'd probably get.
No, but that would be very, very useful because like now, like the Switch really proved, at least to me, the Switch really proved like that is a really good form factor. And now with the PlayStation Portal, that to me that works too. You have your main consoles like the beast, and it beams the signal to you. I'm all right with that. Like
me too.
It works. Like that's it. So, anyways, folks, that's about it for now. So I'm curious to hear. Well, if you bought anything on the Steam sale, let us know. I'm curious about that, and I'm curious to hear what people think about some of these topics. Like I'm really. Curious.
Please leave comments. Yeah, because especially if you guys all the topics, but especially I want to see what people think about Microsoft getting into handheld marketing. I think that's great for especially if they focus on PC gaming side, try to make it more optimal. Because like you said, Steam Deck works, but there's hurdles you have to go through, and plus, I'm really interested in that. Obviously, you won't be able to compete with Steam's library, but do they really need to, right?
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like now that they own basically every company under the sun.
Yeah, they don't have. Yeah, they're smart guys. People don't realize Microsoft isn't spending this money to be just generous. They're spending it because they're investing in long-term future, which is good.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll keep you guys posted on this. I'm really curious to see like where it goes from here, and that's that. So, all right, folks, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah, we'll be back.